Hi, and we're back for one last video in this first playthrough series of Shadow of the Erdtree here on Moonbath Gamer. Because I didn't want to leave off with the last episode with some unsolved mysteries. I didn't want a little bit of closure, so I went ahead, I watched some lore videos, some secret videos on YouTube, and read up on the wikis and stuff, and I learned about what these altars do. It gives you another sword, or it changes the sword basically. So the lore here, which we got in the Forager catacombs a while ago, I had forgotten about this, but where you pick up this sword, it was the same altar, the same design and everything. So if I had remembered, maybe I would have put two and two together. But here it says, a sword that none can pull from its scabbard of cracked stone, or like of a lost civilization from a time long past, said to have served as a ritual purpose at altars of light and darkness. So from a civilization from a time long past, I guess that's maybe the Horn Scent or even before them. But this seems to be the altar of darkness. So now that I have it in my, I think it's just in my equipment, right? Maybe if I unequip it, I can still, as long as it's in my inventory. See, I had put it away in my storage because I wasn't going to use this. But as long as it's in your inventory, you don't even have to have it equipped. It prompts you with this prompt here. So you examine it, and you can decide to turn it to the Sword of Dark. Let's do so. The Sword of Darkness. Now it's unequipped. And here we go. Sword of Darkness, pulled from its stone scabbard at an altar. From the quick of the root, wandering toils of darkness coalesce and release their eddies and vortices, giving form to the dark blade, skilled darkness. Raise the sword aloft and cleave surroundings with darkness, deals holy damage and temporarily reduces holy damage negation. Interesting. Here's the effect. Real cool. Yeah, this looks real cool. I guess it's a holy weapon, but it uses darkness, which is weird. I thought maybe it would be better if it uses magic, right? As opposed to the light version, because you can get the light version at the other altar, and you can just switch it back and forth. And so apparently the one with the scabbard on, you can get it here as well. You can, I think, whichever one you find first, you get the scabbard one, and then you have to go to the other ones to switch it back and forth. So it's recommended that you get it how I got it, the scabbard sword at the Forager catacombs first. That way you can just travel back and forth between this one and this one more easily to switch the different light and dark versions. And the Forager catacomb was over here. Here it is. So it's hidden in there. It's harder to get there than to these altars. I think it's still a strength weapon, right? It's still a primarily strength weapon. It loses its strike damage, doesn't it? Yeah, it's standard pierce. So it might be nice to have the other one still on a new playthrough for a strike-based sword. This one looks cool. I think I like this one. I saw the pictures of it. I think I like this one better than the light one. But I think for this character, maybe light is better. I don't know. Let's go change it to the other one. And I've missed other things too. Like the Forager cookbooks. I missed out on that quest. There's some cookbooks I didn't get, which is really unfortunate because there's one cookbook that you get from the Forager quest. I had to talk to another shrimp, I guess, and then you have to talk to Moore at a certain point before Moore goes away. And one of the cookbooks was to use this branch that's kind of like the branch the bewitching branch from the base game that turns enemies onto your side. There's an upgraded version pretty much that you can craft with the cookbook that basically it's a wider area, so you can control even more enemies and make them to your side. It's a charming effect, you know, because it's Miquella's branch basically. And that would have been nice to have because I really like doing that. And you know, I preferred even if it was like an incantation or something like that, right? So you can do it with just FP instead of having to like craft and farm stuff all the time. And I was hoping that would be in the DLC, a Miquella's spell perhaps. That would have been cool, but it's a crafting thing. And it's but it still would have been nice to have. And it's something that I'm locked out on this playthrough. I have to go to New Game Plus to go do that quest again, which is, you know, it's like a give or take thing. Like, it's a good and bad thing. I mean, like, it's nice to have quests where like you get a significant reward if you do a specific thing, but then it could lock you out of a really cool game mechanic, you know, like charming enemies. And not everyone's going to go to New Game Plus, so. You know, I feel like certain stuff like that, maybe it's better to have it where like you can unlock it early if you do the quest the right way, but then in the end game you can still get it, you know, maybe through a merchant or something. I don't know, like maybe that would be a good way to do it instead of having to have you like go again, play the whole DLC all over again pretty much, or you know, most of it, half of it at least, to get your items. I don't know, that's like one critique, I guess. And that happened in the base game too. And you know, but because I play these games a lot, it's not that big of a deal because I end up learning about all this stuff and then I just make sure I do it on certain characters I want certain items with, you know. But I imagine it's more of a hassle for more casual players. Anyway, let's see how this looks. Sword of Light. So now the other one goes away, and we got this one. Pulled from its stone, same thing from the quick. Swerving rays of light intersect and reflect to give the silver blade a form. Or give the silver blade form. Unleashes the light carved in the armored's blade. Send the sword aloft to let loose a blinding light whose many rays sweep through the surrounding area. Also temporarily boosts one's own holy attack. So the other one like lowered holy damage negation. This one boosts holy attacks. And then it has, I guess, a light version of this. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I feel like this would be good on a Miquella build, right? This looks good too. It looks pretty nice. And it's pretty much the same moveset as a sword. It's got the pokey. Pretty cool. And it's still lit up, so that's you know, that's how you can tell this is the light altar and the other one's the dark altar. Also, another thing about that cookbook that I missed, it lets you craft a special berry to give a torrent that gives them an attack, I think, when you boost, which is another cool game mechanic, to give torrent an ability to attack enemies as you ride around. I saw a video of it, and it seems just to be like a little minor shockwave when you boost, so there's no like new animation. It's not the biggest thing, and it doesn't do that much damage, but it's still a cool thing to have. And yeah, I can't even access it until I go through New Game Plus now. Another thing I have to do on a subsequent playthrough is use this concoction Thiollier gave us on the Dragon Priestess. I was learning how to use this. We got this from Thiollier after doing part of his quest with Moore. I thought maybe you could use this on Bale or something, because it says it puts even an ancient dragon to sleep. What we did is after we defeated Bale, we just went back to Dragon Priestess and she gave us her dragon heart and her mace. But there's an alternate path. You go back to her at nighttime and you give her the concoction and it makes her fall asleep. And then after defeating Bale, you come back and she pledges her allegiance to you and she gives you her spirit ashes. And also an ancient dragon lightning incantation. So that's what this concoction was about. And it wasn't that big of a deal for this character because I don't really use those lightning incantations. I would have liked to have that Spirit Ash, but you know, it encourages you, I guess, to go to New Game Plus and do multiple playthroughs, similar to these things where, you know, I I think this one to Queeline, and that's how he got his sword, and we gave this one to Jolan, that's how we got her ashes. But if you do the reverse, you can get Jolan's sword or Queeline's ashes, you know. And so they give you like 2 of each, I think, per playthrough. I wonder if this carries over. It would be nice if it does in New Game Plus, so we can, you know, get the other thing. I can still get some other cookbooks I missed. I'm gonna go do that off stream. Like the Frenzied Pot, we can make a Frenzied Pot. And then there's also the Winter Lantern thing that we did, where we parried a Winter Lantern. But there's a particular Winter Lantern that you can parry that drops a talisman that increases damage when you inflict madness. You know, then there's like Letta's quest that we didn't follow. We could have got different talismans. Even though I thought I explored thoroughly, there's still a few things I missed here and there, including this gesture right here. Look at that. I completely missed it. 2 fingers gesture. Look at that. Isn't that cool? It's almost like a dance move, like a Thriller dance move or something. Let's see how that looks. The 2 fingers. This is where the 2 fingers originated, I guess. I did watch some lore videos, and I pretty much understood the main beats. I'm still not totally sold on the whole Radagon as a consort to Miquella thing. I get that Radahn does have the power to like move the stars and control the stars, I guess, with his gravity magic and thus the fate. And so therefore would be a good consort for Miquella, who wants to realign the laws of the world and make the world a better place. Miquella's Age of Compassion. I see how it fits together, but I think it would have been more satisfying if Miquella had instead revived Godwyn, for example, and we had fought him at the end. That would have been a whole different boss we never even encountered in the base game. It just felt a little bit uninspired, you know, having Radagon come back again. But what I do like is the whole idea that Miquella was trying to, you know, correct Marika's sin or redo what Marika was doing. And we get to learn more about Marika because of the shaman village. Apparently she was one of the shamans who lived in these Shadowlands, right? And so she opposed the Horn Scent, you know, and that's why she betrayed them, I guess, and tried to create a new order by shattering the ring, by creating the Erdtree. But she ended up repeating their mistakes, putting people in jars, and she wiped out their culture to achieve this new world order. And so, you know, Miquella was trying to correct that, make that better, but then he ended up having to lose himself in the process and charm people against their will to get to godhood. The tragedy of it all, I think, all comes together with what the theme of this game is, really, that all these lords try to do a good thing, but they end up failing because either power corrupts or they're trying to become something they can never achieve. These outer gods that are beyond our comprehension. And it also seems like these gods have abandoned us. These fingers, for example, are supposed to be like an envoy of the greater will, but as Amir points out, they have lost their connection with those outer gods long ago. So even though Marika maybe saw some inspiration from them and tried to follow them, it was just futile because they weren't giving any real connection to the outer gods. In the end of the day, whether it was Marika, Miquella, or the Horn Scent, they couldn't connect with this divinity, with the cosmos out there. It was all just up to them to decide their purpose in this world. And it was Ronnie who had it right all along. You know, forget the greater will. Live in that darkness, embrace it, and pave your own path. Yeah, I still think the Ronnie ending is maybe the most realist, the most optimistic even of the endings, and maybe the intended one to illustrate the main theme of the game. Or at least how I interpret it, you know? Let's not rely on these outer gods, these lords, who would surely lead us into ruin. Anyway, I guess those are my closing thoughts for Elden Ring. Now that it's a complete whole, and I've done pretty much everything, this will definitely, most likely, for sure be the final last part of this playlist of the Shadow of the Erdtree first playthrough. Most likely. You know, I may have some quibbles here and there, but overall, it's a great expansion, and I'm eager to keep playing it with different characters, different playthroughs, But I'm also a big fan of these Souls games, so maybe I'm a bit biased. Yeah, I guess that's it. I'll see you later. Bye.